There we go. So let's jump into it. So typically, realistically, FFL, I'd say it's easier to go fast and slow. The 12 core commitments, yes, you can do it part-time, but it's easier to do it full-time, okay? Here's what I mean. Now, typically in the past, most people couldn't do insurance like this part-time because they got paid such little comp that they couldn't even pay their bills. Here, you can do it full-time. Oh, sorry, part-time. But here's the cool thing is it's so much easier to go fast and slow, and you'll see what I mean. Here's the basic formula is full-time, you're looking at 30 appointments a week. 30 appointments a week will solve any problem you got. I don't care what it is. It will compensate for sucking. It'll compensate for every situation you got because that's just how it is. Because the comp is so high, in addition to the number of families you're helping, it'll make the difference. Now, of that, we know that there's a no-show rate. So if you book 30, and no matter what your appointments are, if you're taking notes, take this note, estimate about a maybe 10 to 20% no-show rate, okay? This is in-home, 10 to 20% no-show rate. So if you have more than 10 to 20% no-show rate, hint, hint, there's something you're saying, there's something you're intonating somehow that is putting people off, and you got to work on that, okay? So of that, maybe you'll sit 10, 20 if you book 30. And then, of course, the numbers as they are is you will sell half of what you sit on. And that's just been the numbers for me. So I can't make a blanket statement. I really can, but I can't say, hey, you're going to sell half, but you really will. Because if you just book that number of appointments, that's just the numbers it's been, not only for myself, but for everyone else, because that's how it works. So you're not uniquely defective in any way. So whatever you came here with, whatever baggage you brought, it will be solved by booking more appointments. And that should be more empowering than anything else because you know that you're in control of your success, nowhere else. So front end, we're gonna go over just the basics. A lot of this, I'm educating your expectations so that when you see it happen to you, you're not surprised and you can handle it. I love the leader that I once followed. He said, we can handle problems as humans, but no one wants to handle surprises. I want to just let you know upfront right now what the problems you're going to face and what the good things are, but I want to let you know what the problems are. Because if you know upfront, you can educate your expectations and then you can manage your expectations. And as long as you can do that, everything is gravy. And if you do that, you'll help 5 to 10 out of 10 sitting on 10 appointments. If you're part-time, you'll help, let's say 10 out of 15, if you only 10 out of 20, I put the wrong number in there. And that's about 140 families. If you're part-time, most full-time folks, they're helping about 125, at least over 400 families a year, which is pretty cool. So jumping into it, here's the 12th core. The 12th core is what you live by. The Marine Corps, they have a motto. This is your Bible, if you will. This is your the way you function. There's an old saying that if you don't follow the 10 commandments, you're going to go to hell. I believe it. But this is the truth is, and when it comes to FFL, if you don't follow the 12 core, your business will go to hell. Just being honest with you. The first 6, that's all you need if you want to be a high paid salesperson. I think it's actually the first 5. That's all you need. And the rest will be what you need if you actually want to build a business. Sorry, I got a little call here, ADD. I'm just gonna bring them up right now. So we all have them right now. So in the first 3 minutes we're in, if you needed to leave, you could have. This is all the 12 core, okay? Let's jump into it. Sean Mike said it. He just said it doesn't matter how good you are as a speaker. No one wants to hear you talk for more than an hour. He actually said about 30 minutes. You ain't that good. I'm not that good, but we do need to get through this. There are about 25 slides. So if I spend a minute on each one, we can get through the first half, and then the back half, we're going to go through Why Ffl, some things I think would be important to build that third leg of belief. In addition, we're going to do some underwriting, which will help some people that are brand new know why I go certain companies and kind of help you along the process. Okay. So first things first, you got to commit to the process of 100. Just commit that you're going to go through 100 appointments, no matter what. Doesn't matter how bad you are, just accept right now, it's going to be messy. Some of us, we are wanting it to look too pretty. We want to make sure it's all dotted and, listen, just get it. It's going to be messy. You are going to suck bad. Go through it hard. If you're going to suck good, right? Just understand that and everything will be good. I want you to listen to what Austin said about the mentality. Hey, can everyone hear that okay? Please
I'm
say
similar.
yes.
I think the biggest thing is just going all in from day one, figuring it
Jihad?
out,
Okay,
not
good.
being afraid to mess up, get out in front of your failures. It's gonna happen.
You just jump straight in.
I purchased $1,500 worth of leads. It was on a Saturday, started dialing on Sunday.
What type of leads are you working?
So right now I'm actually doing instant internet.
What do you guys say to the agents that say, "Oh, instants don't work or CRM leads don't work"?
Yeah, I mean, for any excuse, I would tell them to look at how often are you actually working on your craft? Are you actually dialing? It takes work. To me, it's worth it. Spend $11, make a grand.
Come on, guys. Do you hear what he said? For any excuse, there's always an excuse. All right, you can make excuses or make money. You can't make both. Go all in and just get the leads. Leads are leads. Your first goal is to find your ratio so that you can then improve. You're trying to find out, okay, how many leads does it take me to get X? And is my ratio in accordance with the national average or what everyone else is saying? If it's not, now you know you can improve, right? But until you find your ratio, you can't do anything. So your first commitment, commit to 100 appointments no matter what. Just run through it. Once you got to 100, then you can start judging things, because until then, you don't know nothing, okay? Enough on that one. Going on to the next core commitment is the why. This document, if you don't have it, send me a message. This is honestly before the first core commitment. This is really what's going to help you assimilate everything we're doing. In FFL, there's a couple of stages. It's almost like getting married. There's the dating phase, there's the newlywed phase, and then there's the marriage phase, and then there's the senior phase, right? What happens in those last couple of phases is what determines how well your marriage will be. Activating your why is one. This document will help you pretty much, I would say, educate your expectations, manage that during the process. So we're going to go through it real quickly. The biggest part of this whole thing is identifying your why, meaning what's the purpose you're here. I know you want to make money, but you need to really identify why. It's the fuel that gives your car what it like. I'll say it this way: you may have an engine, right? Or rather, right, your why, if we're talking about a car, is more your engine. How fast your car goes will be determined by the engine, in essence. And if you don't really have a why, bad things will happen that will knock you out the gate completely, okay? So you want to ask yourself these questions so you can identify it, because when things go south or things are hard, question is, what will you do? These are just a couple of questions to help you identify your why. And again, I go through this because you will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to some seminar of a guy named Tony Robbins or whatever. And again, I love it. You should go to a seminar, but you don't understand what you're paying for. He's just helping you identify your core values, your core purpose, AKA your why. That's all he's doing. So these are just a couple of questions to help you identify your why. If you like extra time in helping identify it, let me know. If you're finding yourself, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to get up in the morning, oh, this or that in FFL seems hard, it isn't so much that FFL is hard as that your why isn't strong enough. I'm just being real with you. So you need to identify your why, not so much, oh, is FFL something I want to do? That got nothing to do with it. I don't know if this is my calling. That has nothing to do with it. Is the why that you identified, is it strong enough, period? And if you really look at it, what else would you do to be able to fulfill your calling, right? So before you get and do the things you want to do, you got to do the things that you have to do first. So just a couple more questions, right? As we go through the process of 100, listen to this, because we're going to go through how-tos, but don't get caught up in the how-tos. Again, if you're brand new or if you're seasoned, because as you're brand new, here's what happens. You want to think all that, how do I do this? How do I do that? Thinking that's what is responsible for success. That's really not. Then when you get seasoned, you get to a high level, you try to overcomplicate things. So either way, whether new or whether seasoned, you got to listen to what Albert says.
Try to get through your first 100 appointments as fast as you can, because there's a lot of different things going on. People always get a little bit too caught up in product knowledge and how to present, what's the best script to use, how do you deal with objections. But none of this really matters that much, because you can study all day long, but if you sit at home and you just like watch videos and you study the scripts, you don't make any money that way. Okay? It'll help prepare you, but it also could psych you out.
Don't get psyched out. It's not going to be the perfection of your script. It's just going to be you doing the work. Ignorance on fire is way more exciting than knowledge on ice. And better yet, an hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the classroom. If you can get around that mentality and just believe that we know what we're talking about, Trust me. And for those that are brand new, here's how we relieve your stress. When you get started, you're at your highest level of anxiety, your lowest level of knowledge. We want to switch that. How do we do that? Well, we're going to allow you to go do the dials. Anyone can do that. You get in the home. We're going to relieve the stress of what? Well, what are you stressed about? You don't know who to go with, which carrier. You don't know how much to sell for the client. All that we're going to take from your shoulders because you're going to have a field support. That field support will know ahead of time you're going in the home, and you'll just simply send a picture of your financial inventory, which is, asking the questions of the client, what their medications are, their age, income. Send that to your field support. Your field support will then be able to tell you, hey, I see this person taking this. They may ask you some questions to ask that person. Hey, go with this company, go with America, go with Mutual, go with this person, and give them these options. And then you're simply going to give them the options. You are literally going to be a waiter or a waitress. You get their order, you take it to the cooks, us, we cook the food, say, hey, go give them their food. You give them the food. That's it. So again, just relieve yourself of the stress. The only work you got to do is just make the dials. Hopefully that makes sense. Don't psych yourself out. So if you're talking about the why, if you've built your engine, doesn't matter how good a car is, you have to have fuel, okay? Fuel is leads. This business needs to go and you need cash, right? How do you do that? Well, you got to determine when you're going to buy your next lead batch, right? When your dial day is, and you need to decide when you're going to run. If you already have your trajectory set, everything else will work. This business is about structure. You can run all over the place and do a lot of activity and you will succeed. But I'm telling you right now, you will be worn out. So I'm not saying sit and just having analysis paralysis. I'm not saying that, but I am saying here, I'm trying to help you build structure and don't reinvent the wheel. Why not enroll in the school of experience of people that have done it? I was worn out when I started. I did what I had to do. So if it's between not doing anything and being worn out, or not having structure and being worn out, and having structure and going, still being tired, but at least I'm not as worn out. It'd be better just to do something. But you got to have the leads flow. Not only your initial purchase, think ahead. Okay, I'm buying leads today. When am I going to buy leads next? That's the difference between someone who's just an employee and someone who is starting a business. A lot of us came from employee mentality. So we're thinking, I'm just going to buy leads this week. Come on, think bigger. Okay. So here's what I mean. You just buy the Mickey D's, McDonald's. Are you really going to think, oh, I'm just going to buy buns for this week? Come on. You just paid $1 million to buy Mickey D's. You're thinking ahead. Okay, I'm buying buns for this week. Okay, next week, I'm going to buy, how many buns do I need? Some people, their sight is so short-sighted that they don't even see the future. And because you're only thinking about buying leads this week and you're thinking like this, here's what's killing us. You're thinking, oh, I'll see if this lead batch turns out anything. Are you kidding me? What business owner in their right mind, I don't care whether it's construction, Mickey D's buys materials and says, I'll see whether this one pans out. Come on, think bigger in that sense. And when you start changing your mentality, you start having different results. So not only when you're buying your first batch, when you're making your first dials, when you're running your first set of appointments, okay? C, make the list. There's some of us who, listen, I came from humble beginnings. We got nothing. I'm talking zero cash. We are starting FFL because we need to make a change. And we see that trading our time for money will not do that. If you literally have zero cash, which by the way, we're in America, go sell something. I don't care. Sell your Xbox, sell your TV. We can sell something. But let's say you were in a situation that was so humble you couldn't sell anything. We have the biggest capital that anyone can ever ask for. It's called our network. Make a list. People we can protect, friends, family, whatever it is. Make a list and go protect somebody. This is the old school way, right? That's where some people do it. That's not our business model, but there is always a way for someone to get started. So make a list of folks that you want to protect, whether it be not only from the opportunity side, but also from the networking side, meaning from the opportunity side, so to be able to help them become agents. You don't know who will, who won't. I will say this, for most people, if you have a list less than 100 people, you are prejudging. We are literally trying to protect people. True story. Had a friend, started the business. I love the fact that I don't need friends and family in FFL, and I did not protect him. He was successful. He was a buddy from high school, and I asked him about the business, and he said, no, not right now. And he had a successful business. And come to find out, we all know that life insurance is not built equally. And I should have done my job of saying, hey, listen, let me at least go through your options. Turns out my buddy Vinny, he told me he went to the doctor. This is just a couple of months ago, and his stomach was hurting, and he has 12 months to live. Or no, he has a pancreatic cancer, which is incurable right now. So how bad did I feel, right? If he had said no, it'd be one thing. So I think it's important, even though that's not a business model, to at least look at that, to at least protect the people. Because if your neighbor, your friend, family, whoever said that they had something and you had the cure to it, I'm talking living benefits, and you didn't say nothing, what would you feel like? I felt terrible. So just keep that in mind. Going on to D, get plugged in. We have so many options to get plugged in, guys. We got the New Agent Bootcamp. We got Zooms, right? We got the Facebook group. You got to stay close to the fire. If you don't, you will get cold. This business is lonely, okay? It can get lonely. We are lone rangers. This is the big boys club, so we help you, but no one's gonna hold your hand like a little baby. You have to be assertive, okay? So you stay close to the fire, because there is no reason to make it lonelier than it needs to be, because that's the reason we have all these resources, right? So let's jump into it. That's the first core commitment and the second core commitment. Third, commit to 1 or 2 dial days a week. You just decide if you're going to do 2 if you're full-time, 1 if you're part-time, whatever it is, right? Part-timers, a lot of the time they do Fridays, they dial Fridays for Saturday and Sundays, or if you're full-time, you can do 2 dedicated dial days, and that's Monday or Thursday, just to kind of be with everybody else. And you can get on Zooms. We have Zoom-alongs where people are dialing with you. We feel like, we're in a bowler room, or you can hear people making dials, going through the same challenges you're going through, so that you don't feel alone. Not only that, but again, you are not different. You got top producers who experience the same people hanging up, having those same challenges, but these people are still succeeding. Success leaves clues, guys. Or you can do it where you do a dial day every day. There's one agent, he didn't like having a dedicated dial day, so he rather dial morning times every day from 7:30 to noon, and all his appointments he would book from 12 down. So he went out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because he liked going out and about. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. But to create structure, recommend just starting off with 2 dial days, just so you can be part of the group. Now, core number 3, FFLU, jump in. Here's what I know. Systems is what every successful business has that I've ever known. The biggest companies, you name it, and I will tell you what their system is. And that's how they did it. Now, at first, they just kind of did their thing and they kind of went at. But there is no successful business that doesn't have a system. That's what FFLU is. It's going to be a system that just helps. I don't want to say churn, but think of it like an oven, right? An oven. There's some recipes that the thing that you're baking only has to be in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. We don't know where someone is coming from mentally, whether they're only baking for 5 minutes or whether they got to bake for 6 months or a year. Either way, FFLU will marinate them, because they will eventually get the things that they need in order to succeed. And that includes you. You're going to get something every time. Now, the times are wrong. We are switching now to between this time and the next time. So it's going to be 12:30 to about 1:30 is the goal. Every week, we're going to have an advanced topic on FFLU. So this week is going to be Why Ffl. So the first half is always going to be the same. You can always count on that a brand new person will get the same just raw data that everyone needs, so that we don't get 3 million questions. And this is one of the ways, by the way, if you're building, that I judge someone who's serious. If you tell me you want to build a business and you want to be serious, you got all these questions and you don't get on FFLU, I'm going to be honest with you. I love helping people, but if I had 2 phone calls coming through at the same time, one person got on FFLU, the other person didn't, guess whose phone call I would answer? I'm just being real with you, okay? So your actions, you're talking so loud that I can't hear what you're saying. Okay, that's how I roll. I call it checkerboard leadership. You make a move, I make a move. So if you're serious about something, get on the place where we get all the facts versus trying to take information from one person. We love you, but no one's that special. Let's just be real, okay? All right, sharpen your axe every day. Grow or die. Every day you can do something small to grow. We got so much information that it can get overwhelming. So here again, just a list of just pieces of information you need to have. Now, we got podcasts, we got YouTube videos, but every day we're just helping you kind of stay like a horse with the blinders on, because there's so many distractions that will get you. And if you're serious about changing FFL or changing your mind to become the mindset of someone who's doing the deal, you got to create blinders. Timing wise is getting us, but here I'm going to explain that to you for a second. The reason you're succeeding and the reason you're not succeeding, it's not because you need more information per se. It's because you have junk you have too much information. Here's what I mean by that. You're going to discover as you get better and better, it's not so much that you learn more, it's that you simplify stuff. You stop overcomplicating things. One last example to kind of just help you kind of shape your mindset. Instead of thinking you need more information, you just need the basics. I'm not trying to overcomplicate this, but I want to just make it clear. I'm just giving you the basics. Perfection is accomplished by subtraction, not addition. Think about it. When a kiln, when you're doing a pot, right? When they put the pot in the kiln, why do they do that? To burn the impurities out, right? Are they adding more impurity? No, they're getting junk that's already in there out. Iron, when you're beating that little iron, I mean, we don't do swords anymore, but we still use ironworks. Why do they do that? Well, because they're getting the impurities out. And the more pure a sword is, the sharper it is. So I'm telling you, you have everything you need to succeed now. It's just that there's a lot of junk that you built over time from whether your childhood, who knows where it was, that is keeping you from just hearing what we said. All we said was buy leads, dial leads, run appointments. Why is it that some people can hear those three things and go knock out the park? And other people, they're like, well, what kind of leads? Should I call in the morning, in the afternoon? Should I say hi or should I say hi? I mean, like they're overcomplicating it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just do your thing and it'll be done. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's the extra stuff that's getting us. Okay. So do something every day to make sure you're solid. Actually, Raul, are you on?
Yes, sir.
All right, Raul. Raul is one of those guys that I say is an example of someone who is sharpening his axe daily. Raul, just share with us just for 1 minute. What do you do every day to sharpen your axe? And you don't have to do everything he does. Just do one thing. That's it. Go ahead, Raul.
Can everyone see me? I can't see you guys, but I hope you guys can see me. Well, first thing, since convention, I've been applying what I've learned with Dave Anderson. Just a little bit of background. I don't want to take up too much time, but with me, I've always had an issue with that. I kind of go with the wind, kind of say, I don't personally, before I wouldn't take initiative of being like, all right, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to take, I'm going to work out. I'm going to do whatever. I was the kind of person that if I woke up, it'll be, at 10, 11. And then work out from there. Now, what I've been doing to challenge myself personally, I have been waking up early. Dave Anderson said that to wake up at 3:45. I've been doing my best as I can to do that. Not gonna lie, it's pretty hard, but you don't have to be crazy like me. You can wake up at 5. That's perfectly fine. The point is to wake up early to give you enough time in the day to do other things besides just, wake up, let me do some dials and get going on my merry way. I wake up, first thing I do, always, I pray to God. Doesn't matter what religion you guys are. That doesn't matter to me personally. But to me, I pray that I'm grateful to first off be alive, to have this opportunity on my side. From there, I read a Bible about 15, 30 minutes, just depending on what chapter I am or which book I am. And then from there, I go do a 30-minute podcast of something. I just finished the book that I think is really good. It's called Relentless. And one thing I'm going to take from that book is people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Those people are called cleaners because they're in the book. It goes over a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. And a cleaner is someone basically that it doesn't matter what happens, what obstacles goes through them. They still work at it. And believe it or not, those people that are like super hardcore athletes, they have the same aches and pains that everyone has, especially with old age. And that's what I took from that. It doesn't matter who you are. everyone has pain. Everyone goes through something. Even the greats go through something, even though they do their best not to show it. From there, I go work out around 5, because that's when the gym opens. So the gym's not even open that time. From 5 to 6, I'm working out. From 6, I come back home and I refresh myself. I have myself a little bit of tea. I look at other podcasts. I look at Inside the Sale. For example, today I saw Inside the Sale. I don't remember what the guy was called, but this guy started last year and he's helped over 630 families. And it's just about him being consistent.
Come on.
So I'm trying to get to that level of being consistent.
Real quick,
And
Raul,
today-
just for time, if you don't mind me just chiming in for a second, I want you to understand, guys. Thank you, Raul, for that. This is about you versus you. This has nothing to do with FFL. I'm just being honest with you. As you get closer and closer, you realize that you're not battling this opportunity. You're just battling yourself. That's it. And you need a ritual to help yourself be your best self. So if you don't have a ritual, I'm telling you right now, you will pay thousands of dollars to go to a seminar where they will tell you to create a morning ritual. Raul gave you like 3 or 4 of them. Start with one, and you're to find you will be improving. And then you'll say, okay, I did this with this much. What if I did this much? So just for time's sake, thank you, Raul, for sharing that with us. 6th core commitment is invite 2 people a day to build your agency. Again, 1 through 5, you can just be a high-paid salesperson. You will help protect a lot of families. You can protect over 1 million families yourself. And that'll be good for a little bit until you realize, wow, I'm tired. I'm gonna stop doing that. I want to find other people. And there are people, you're gonna find that the top producers in this company do not have the biggest agencies. And their number one regret is that they wished they had started earlier building their agency. They are a one-man, woman army, which is their greatest strength, but also their greatest weakness. You don't have to be gangbusters, but you just have to do 2. Now, when you're new in the business, you need to do what you cannot pay to be outsourced. I do 2 a day. You know how I do 2 a day? Because I pay an employee, a recruiter, to do recruiting for me. So he does at least 2. I mean, he better be doing more than I paid him for, right? So before I hired a recruiter, guess what I did? I'm actually inviting 2+ people a day. Now, here's how business works. For those that want to build an agency because you are sold that this is a great company, you're sold that we have great leaders, and you're sold enough that you can do this. This is somewhere you want to invite people to. Here's how it works. You need to first sell a high enough so that you can be an attractive person to follow. Sell high enough so that you can be able to pay someone to do those things you can't do, okay? How do you sell high enough? Well, you do the basics. This is how you build momentum. Momentum is when something's moving, the effort that it would have taken to move it further when it was stationary is less. How do you build momentum? Do the basics. Do a lot of the basics. Just buy leads, dial leads, run appointments. Well, how do you advance momentum? Well, you need to compress time frames. How you advance momentum. Meaning you do in a week what it would take you 2 weeks to do. Compress time frame. Do in 3 days what you would do in a week. Do in a month what it would take you 3 months to do. When you compress time frames, bam, you build momentum. Now, how do you advance momentum? Well, when you transfer that basics to the ranks that you're building. So all I'm saying is it just starts with you. That's all. Now, everyone's depending on where you are, you're saying, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can talk to people. Guys, back in the day when before social media, maybe we could have said that. But Nina, she's built it big. Hear this.
I see your activity on social, and I definitely want to get into this with you because you're one of the best to do it.
It'll take 20 minutes, not even, every single morning or every evening or between appointments, just following people, adding them, getting in front of them, posting all the time. You are naturally going to attract people to this business.
Yeah.
Hey, I see that you're with X company. Are you crushing it? That's always kind of my intern. And that like makes them question themselves. Like, am I crushing it?
If someone's out, how do you handle that?
When you're ready, let me know.
That's freaking
And it's
strong.
like,
That's a lot of psychology.
it's sales. I get 1,000 times more no's than yeses, but it's worth a shot.
Hey, everyone can do this today. You don't got to go gangbusters. Just 2 friends on social media. Hey, and it shows their company. I see you're with this company. Are you crushing it? Can you not do that twice a day? Come on, right? And here's how you do it. You're adding friends of friends. Come on, right? This is simple stuff. And this is how Nina she did not even have a recruiter. Still doesn't. That's how she built it so big. And we know the people that talk, that's the thing that goes faster than anything else. And just for numbers' sake, just bear with me. I'm just trying to give you as many nuggets as possible. I love numbers to educate my expectations so that I can be able to, you know, just plan. Here's what we know. If you're building an agency and you're contracting cold market, you have like a recruiter, out of every 100 people you contract, 10 to 14 of them will write business. Okay. Of the 10 to 14 that write business, usually it's 12, by the way, but of that percentage that write business, one time at least, you'll probably have 5 will write more than once. It's like twice. And then of the 5, you'll probably have 1 or 2 20K producers. Those are the numbers. That's cold market. But of 100 people that contract that you know, guess what the number is? 50% will write business. Think about that difference. These are just numbers for those that are wanting to build. Now, let's talk about building. Building is important because, listen, let's say you are having a bad week. There is nothing a new recruit can't solve. Here's what's going to happen. You don't know where anyone came from. You don't know what desire they have. You don't know what skill set they have. All you know is this is a great vehicle. You're a great person. You know you have great leadership. You know you have great company. You bring them on board. They're cooking. You're putting them in the oven. You're wondering, why are they not, cooking up yet? Like, I put you in there. I mean, what you add more and you're wondering, here's what we know. You can't control what you can't control. If you can't change your people, change your people. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. The best thing you can do is just keep moving forward. And as a leader, you got to lead from the front, not from the back.
They would have managers come in and try to teach you stuff, and it's like, you haven't done that yet. How can you teach me something you haven't done? Leadership comes from leading from the front and showing how it's done, not just talking about it. And if I want my agents to write 20,000, I have to do it. If I want them to write 50,000, I have to go do it first. Few managers go out there, write 50, 100,000, and then come back and train how to do it. Growing up, having little small jobs here and there, grocery store, and have this new person come in and knew nothing about the industry, nothing about the business, knew nothing about anything you ran, and try to tell you what to do. But just being a leader, you have to know what you're training. So the only way to do it is actually do it yourself.
Two problems will happen with you, those that are building businesses, because this is just how it works. You're just sorting. It's like a deck of cards. You don't know whether you're going to get an ace. You may live next door to ace, but here's the question. Are you prepared to actually lead that ace? Because if you're not, they will leave you and find the person that they need to lead them. So as you're building, here's what you got to know. Don't let ego get in your way. If you haven't helped more than 60 families a month, get out of the way and go show them someone that can. Or if you have, help them, but you need to be able to get out of the way so that they can see someone in FFL, right? Or you need to get out of the way, let them grow. But just understand, it's not about you saying, hey, over here, me. It is not about you. It's about them every step of the way. You're one recruit away from always a change. That's just the truth. So just, again, keep moving forward. Don't change. FFLU, make sure you get your degree. This is an 8-week course. We're going on a different topic every week. Granted, the times are still messed up, but nonetheless, here are the different topics. We did hiring, dialing, selling, lifetime income. This week is Why Ffl. We're going to talk about the power of, again, how to build, how you can maximize events in the building process, okay? 3-way calls, and then how to get to integrity, which is the goal that a lot of people have. So make a commitment. And by the way, as you're going through this, if you're brand new, here's how you can scale this training. Each of these core commitments, you need to score yourself a scale 1 to 10, 10 being the best. If you are committed to doing it, like, hey, I'm committed to the process of 100. I'm committed to doing 100 appointments no matter what. I don't care what happens. I'm going to do 100 appointments no matter what. 2, well, as you go on. So you're going to give yourself a 10. If you're like, maybe, if you're, commit to dial days. If you're full-time and you're committed to 2 dial days, give yourself a 10. If you're like, whatever, right? Give yourself a 5, so forth and so on. We'll go through it, but you're going to be able to score yourself, and you will be able to tell yourself the percentage of success you're going to have here, right now, so you know what to change. Number 8, we have quarterly sales conferences. Get to one every quarter. There's one all over. Just got to get to one. You're getting trained by the best. Guys, you don't understand this if you've never been in business. This is free training by the best of the best. Some of these people, you would, outside of FFL, you would pay these people hundreds of dollars some of them thousands for them to train you on how to succeed. Grant Cardone, you know how much he charges for his seminars? You got people like Steve Giordano. He helped over 1 million families a year, telling people for free how he did it. I mean, sometimes when things are free, we just don't have value in them because we're just so messed up. We think that it needs to be a lot of money. And then when it's a lot of money, we don't want to do it because it's too expensive, right? I want to go back to something real quick as far as the core commitments. I want to share this with you. The number one core commitment. Every business has a barrier of entry. So Mickey D's, the barrier of entry between you and buying a franchise, you have to be I think they call it accredited investor. Not only your credit score, how much money you got. So even if you have $1 million, they may not like you, your credit or whatever your background is. So they may say no. Every business has a barrier of entry. In the oil business, it's a lot of money because you need a lot of wells. In FFL, it's work ethic. I'm telling you right now, this is hard. It's hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So I want you to step back for a second and that's why we say commit to 100 appointments. Don't commit to 50 or 25. I'm talking appointments you actually sat in, made. That's your barrier of entry that you control, your sweat equity. Because here's what happens. Let's say you got in and you made 10 appointments. You sold 9. Woo, you're loving life. Life is good, baby. And then you brought on your friend. They brought on, they sold 10. They're like, wow, this business is incredible. And then they brought on their friend and their friend sold 9. You know what would happen? FFL is so awesome. It's so successful that instead of being free for us to get on, there would be a franchise fee. It would be $1 million. Because guess what? You get your license, you get an FFL, you sell, you buy leads, you sell immediately. Your first 10 calls, they'll answer, they open their checkbook, and the opportunity would be over for you because it's so easy. So don't want what you don't want. You don't want it to be easy. You want it to be hard on purpose because it sifts and sorts all the fakers who say they want it, but they don't really want to work that hard. Here, all you got to do is work, guys. So 100 appointments is your barrier of entry that you control how much you will put in for your sweat equity. That is all. So keep that in mind. And second thing is, bear with me. All right, number 9, commit to a national conference. Get to one every year. We have one. It's usually the first week of February, but it just makes the difference for everybody. Anyone that's ever not gone, or I'll say this way, I would not be in this business had it not been for a conference like this one. I was on the verge of quitting the business. I was helping 20 families a month, and I was about to quit because I couldn't scale. I couldn't figure it out. I was so frustrated that, it seems like I couldn't control how well I was doing. But isn't that the most frustrating thing? Imagine if you were driving a car and you turned left and it went right, or you turned right and it went straight. Wouldn't you be afraid? I mean, and you didn't kill anyone. You got your destination. You safe and sound, but you couldn't control it. Wouldn't you be frustrated? I was. I would go to an appointment. I wouldn't know whether they were going to show up. I wouldn't know whether they wouldn't show up. You see what I mean? I was so frustrated. I'm saying to myself, if I can't control this, I'm not going to live on luck. I mean, I know it works and all, but I need to sit and chill for a while and figure this out. And that was my mistake. But nonetheless, I kept going and training. And I did enough activity where the same information that had been being preached from these leaders about how to do the business, it just landed on the right time. And I was like, oh, that's got it. And guys, I kid you not, that next month, I protected from 23 families, I protected 42 families with the same leads. Think about it. And then the next month, it was 58 families and so forth and so on. So I'm just saying, it's about timing, and you have to go to the events to be able to trigger, because it's a combination of activity knowledge and learning knowledge, okay? Number 10, personal development. You have to do something every day. Raul mentioned it. And if you didn't know what to do, how to do it, or you're saying, I'm listening to good stuff, here's how you can scale it. Read 10 pages a day of a good book, 15 minutes of good audio. Just do that every day. Number 11, get a workout partner. This is something I always laugh at. I show it every week, but guys, it's important you have someone you're accountable to, because we're not the greatest accountability partners. Here's what this guy did. This is you're down the leads, no one's coming out. I mean, and leader says, hey, hold up here. Go call that lead again. And you start doing different things. And suddenly, what you used to do, it seems like it has more effect. And all of a sudden, You have someone says, yes, hey, come over. They buy the insurance. And who would have thought, right? Again, there's a reason that the people that are succeeding. Now, on the back end, I want to just share, this is important. Being here a year from now, before we jump into Why Ffl, Nina was, I keep using her as an example, it could be anybody. It could be Josh Williams. Guys, Josh Williams, if you met him 2 years ago, Josh Williams would have been you, wherever you are. He would have been someone who was trying, and he was doing okay, but he wasn't seeming to make any headway. And the season changed for him. And all of a sudden something happened. But look what happened to Nina. 1 year.
We just decided to just give it our all this year. I mean, we're $2 million a month.
What were you doing January 1, 2021?
I think we did 215,000.
10x.
So 10x her growth in 1 year. It was just a decision that she made. And if you ask her in more detail, she can tell you why, but it was the same stuff that we're talking about here today. So just decide to be here a year from now. If you just simply commit, okay, this week I'm committing that I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all 12. This starting now, I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to go all in. And if you do that, that's when the things start to change for you. So to kind of just cap it off, there are things you do every day, every week, every quarter, every year. Every day, two invites. Invite 2 people a day. 15 pages of a good book. Listen to 10 pages of a good book, 15 minutes of good audio. I messed that one up. Every week, 2 dial days. You decide. 30 appointments. You decide, right? Every quarter, 1 sales conference, and every year, 1 conference. All right, guys, that's it. That's it. All right, so let's jump in. As far as recognition, I'm gonna share some recognition for some folks that have been cranking it. And then I'm gonna do a little underwriting and see if that can maybe help us be a little bit more effective. So for the month of February, great job, guys. Rose, I mean, she protected over 20 families. I mean, come on, this is awesome, 20 families. And I don't know, Rose, I don't know where you were last month, but I think it was like, you were like at 8, something like that, right? I mean, crazy, right? So here's what I'll tell you. If we had more time, I would give her the time just to share what happened, but it was a matter of just, I mean, a decision. Went to conference, her belief changed. She put more effort into leads, decided to just be a student of insurance, actually started selling, becoming a salesperson. Who'd have thought, right? And all of a sudden things started happening. John, 18 families. Kevin, he protected 15 families. Victor, 12. Wendell, he did 11. Lisa, 7 families. And we got Abe, 7 families. Maureen, she actually helped 6. David, he helped 6 as well. So did Raul. So did Jihad, Raheem, Marie helped 2. And going down, Maria helped 1. And it's so interesting having to say it this way because we don't do numbers anymore. So bear with me, guys. But Jonathan Weston, hey, kudos to you, Louisiana. He helped protect 1 family. And Debbie, she helped 1 as well. Jacob, he got in the mix. Amy, great job for you, Amy. I see Katie up in North Dakota, she helped 1. We saw Paris, Melissa, Taven, they all helped about 1 family as well. So great job for you guys. All right, I'm gonna switch to my iPad really quickly, and I am going to do a quiz. And this is where I'm gonna expect you guys to bear with me. I'm gonna take control of the host again here. I'm gonna expect you guys to actually share. Oh, there it is. And you tell me the answer. Co-host. All right. You guys let me know when you can, just give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. We got for time. Okay, we're good. All right. Everyone see my screen okay? Awesome. So, all right, so we got a Joe Jack. All right, he doesn't smoke. And by the way, when you're sending me a financial inventory, for those who want help, hey, I love that you put your date of birth, but don't make me do math, please. I'm trying to help you out. I appreciate that, but put the age. Say, hey, he is 39. Just put it right there for a brother, okay? All right, and you put the income. So just a heads up for those that are brand new. Even if you're getting it for the husband, you need to get the wife's information as well, because you need to be able to get a good assessment of the situation so you can be able to know, well, what's going to be missed, right? So you say he's doing he's I don't know, military. He's a vet. He brings in, I don't know, $1,500 a month, VA, and $1,500, I don't want to say $1,000 a month, Social Security. Okay, no life insurance, and let's go to his medications. So actually, that's probably too young for a veteran. Let's say that. Let's say realistically he's 61. Okay, and you say, hey, he says, hey, I'm on high blood pressure. So I'm going to ask you this question: when someone tells you they're on high blood pressure, straight up, don't take their word for it. Oh, really? Perfect. So don't always agree. What medication are they giving you on? I've had people tell me they're on high blood pressure and they're taking heart medications, right? And you went on, tried to run a miracle, wasted all your time and getting the client wondering what the deal. Just as, yep, that's great, Mr. Jones. So these are all based on prescription history. So what medication to be on? And here's the deal. So who can tell me this age, this guy is on, let's say carvedilol. He's on blood pressure meds, HB, let's say, and lisinopril. Who can tell me, just throw it out there. Which company you think you would give him, would probably easy approval for a whole life benefit? Throw it out. You would say that, right? Any others?
Is the carvedilol for congestive heart failure or just for high blood pressure?
Good question. So that would have knocked you out. That's a congestive heart failure is carvedilol. If someone's on water pills, that's a heart issue. So you got to kind of start learning this stuff. They say, hey, I'm on blood pressure meds. Sometimes doctors give it for that too, but they don't just give it for that only. If they say, hey, I'm on furosemide, I'm just on furosemide and lisinopril, that's all. If they're on furosemide, America's out. Usually if they're on carvedilol, America's out. Most normal companies are out. That's usually not a program that will be level. Carvedilol is, I think if it was Aetna, I thought it was Aetna is the only company, not Aetna, sorry, Am is the only company that would take them level. I'll verify that for you guys. There's one product that every company out there would grade the client, but I believe it's Am that would actually allow the client to be able to go level. I'll share that with you a little later. So let me throw another one out there. Someone says let's say they're young. If they're under 40, let's say they're 40 years old. Oops, sorry, 1 second here. 40 years old, female, doesn't matter. And they got seizures. Someone give me a company, it comes to your mind. They have seizure medications. How do you know they have seizure medications? Because you Google it. So when you're going through this and they're saying, I'm on this, I'm not a dictionary. I don't know any of this stuff. So I'm Googling it. Here's what I Google. I go to Safari or your browser, and I literally put the medication uses. And the first thing it tells me, for this. I'm like, that's how I learned this stuff. So if they're on seizure medications, and here's how you sharpen your craft. You learn, hey, seizure meds. You don't have to be, go be a doctor, but just a couple. You'll kind of figure it out. But seizure medications. Someone's on seizure medication. Which company can take them? They want term.
Term.
I don't think they can get term if they have seizures.
It's almost impossible. Almost, keyword. Depending on the age, my brother has seizures. The only company that will help them in that situation is two companies, Forrester's, and it depends on what kind of seizure. So it's not going to be a quick, immediate instant approval. Forrester's or a National Life Group, only companies. And then you have to, you'll submit the application. They'll ask you some questions about the meds. And my brother-in-law got approved. He had seizures since a long time ago, right? So only companies. Immediately, the best thing that I would do is for that person is get them whole life. That is the only immediate instant approval situation you can do for them. And the good news is we can do that now with Aetna, because Aetna starts at what age? Anyone? 40, right? So young person can get that. Hey, you just sell the heck out of a whole life. How they're they're locking in that their age. They just sell the heck out of it. Okay. All right. I think there was another one. So we have a situation where if someone is 60 years old and they have a mortgage that is mortgage protection. He's 65 years old and he wants to pay off his $300,000 mortgage. The way I work is if you're 60 and over, unless it's a special situation, you're getting equity conservation. It's a whole life. It's going to be a program where it's just equity conservation. It pays off the mortgage. It pays the payments for a few years. Plus, I don't want to be that guy that sells someone a 15-year product, which is maybe 20 years at max. They probably give them, and then they die a day past 20 years, and then what? Did you really solve their problem? I don't want to be that guy. I rather, hey, let's get you something for sure that will be a parachute for your wife, your daughter, your mom, and then if there's room in the budget, then let's add to it. So for me, it's more of an ethics thing, and they're really trying to bite off more than they could chew. If they want a term, guess what they should have done? Got a long time ago, right? Okay, I think we're good there. Let's keep going. And hey, while we're here, has anyone encountered any underwriting situations that they were wondering about, that came to their mind, that they were stumped? And I've been there. You're like trying to look like you know what you're doing, but you're stumped. You guys that have been going in the field, any situation that have occurred that you would like some thoughts on? All right, or we'll roll on. Okay, let me share my screen again. Let me see if I know how to do this.
Yeah, Mac.
Go ahead.
I can share one. You remember the one that happened to me the other day with clots, right?
Yes, go ahead, please.
That day because the guy had he had clots forever, right? I think he was 48 when I saw him this week. And his only issues was he's got blood clots. He's on major blood thinner. And he tried, you remember the name of the company that he got declined? Ascus or
I don't remember.
Axis or something like that. Mm-hmm. He got straight out declined. Long time ago, he tried to get life insurance. He got shut down. And I was like, I mean, there's no hard. I mean, we all know that blood clots are dangerous, right? But I mean, you know what to do, right?
And where'd you get it? Remind me. Where'd you go?
We got him with Aetna.
Aetna. Yep. So part of your job when you get in the gate, here's the deal. You need to set the table from the beginning. You don't want to lose control. If you get their hopes up in the beginning, it's because they're young or whatever else, and then you have to backstep, it makes you look silly. If you get in there and you do a good job of assessing the situation, you got what they're needing, not what they want, what they need, and what their medication is. Your job is to say, you know what, let's go ahead and do this instead of this. I may not even have to address the fact that you got declined. But the truth is, listen, I'll say, hey, Mr. Jones, my biggest concern is that blood clotting situation. For term, you got to have pristine health. And have you ever been declined for insurance before? Yep. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So Mr. Jones, let's do this. And here's a key phrase. These word tracks, write them down and use them. Let's build this like we build a house, Mr. Jones. Let's start with the floor, then the walls, and then the ceiling. We want a for-sure foundation to make sure that your wife is protected if something happens. So let's start with some whole life, because they're more lenient when it comes to those situations that you've had situations with those blood clots. So let's get you approved. Now then I stop. I educated his expectations on whole life, because whole life is permanent. It doesn't go away. It's a little bit more than term, but here's the good news about it. It is there for sure. It is like a floor. We know it's going to be there, right? So you're not throwing your money away every month. You see how I'm building it up? I'm getting him geared for whole life, geared for whole life. Bam, we get him approved with Aetna. Now, Mr. Jones, once we got Aetna done and there's more room in the budget, we can go ahead and see, I can shop around for you. I'm a broker. I'll look under every rock to see any company that will take you with those medications. How's that sound? He's good. You see what I'm saying? Versus trying term and then, I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? It's just a better way to go about it, because you're looking out for his best interest, and he knows. I mean, this isn't the first time. So anyway, so let's jump into it. No, good mention there, Jihad. All right, let's talk about why FFL for the last few minutes. All right, so there are a couple of things that you want to look at when you're looking at a company. 7 things. especially an IMO specifically, okay? Insurance marketing organization, for those that don't know what that is. Every Allstate, State Farm, whatever company sells insurance, they are an IMO in that sense. They're an independent marketing organization. Think of it like this. An IMO is like, so a company that has the insurance products, imagine that they are a car without the wheels, okay? An IMO is the wheels of the car, and wheels perform differently. FFL, we got some serious wheels. FFL gets your car to the destination so quickly, they pay us a lot. Now, how FFL got here, that's another reason why FFL, because we didn't start this way. We just have the hardest workers. And because of that, we were able to broker certain deals that allow you to be benefited, right? So 7 things you want to look at when you're looking at IMO. Compensation. They pay you that. Who would do the same work and get paid less? Now, for time's sake, and this is being recorded, so we can't say any names of companies, but there are people right now that need to get saved that are doing the same work you're doing and getting paid less. And if you've been one of those companies, you can silently say amen, right? Because it's the truth. Why would you do that? And there are people that are like that. They're getting paid less for the same work. So do they pay you the best? We do that. Renewals. There are people that I've talked to who, in order for them to get their renewals, they have to basically be slaves. One guy actually goes, well, I've been in this company for a while. The renewals are small. Yeah, you make the most money, but man, I'll lose my renewals. And these, I mean, she's only making $1,000 a month in renewals. I'm like, come on. But the renewals are yours. So whenever you are vested day one, meaning as soon as you sell business for 30 days to here and you go run for president next week, you take your business with you. Beautiful thing, right? Consider the average income. The average income everywhere else, most, I guess, how do I say this? I'm trying to think of I'll say this way. Most other agencies, the average families helped is 43 families a year. 43 families a year. Now, part-time, I'll be conservative. The average part-timer here helps protect 174 families a year. That's just the facts. It's just the numbers, okay? Training here, it's free. We have agents came from different companies. Some companies starts with P and ends in P. I'm not saying any names though. They make you pay for training, right? Here, how much you pay for training? How much, if you went to a convention, just put it on your screen and just type it out. How much did you pay to get into a baseball stadium with all the AV, all that stuff to get trained by the best of the best? How much did you pay? I think the number will be a little donut. You just had to get there, invest in yourself, right? The training is free everywhere else. The leads, and some of you come in here, you say, well, because you were born a Ferrari, you forget that it's a Ferrari. There are other places, the leads are like 10 years old. I'm being real with you, 10 years old. And some of these places, the way they get leads, kid you not, they do a bait and switch where someone signs up for one thing and they're getting another thing. Like they sign up to, I remember one of the situations was some people were signing up to protect their kids if they were ever lost, like stolen. And somehow those were their leads. Like, when you go to the grocery store, you see a little deal about giving your child like a little DNA, like those are their leads, guys. Here, the leads are, again, exclusive. There are different kind of leads. There's Facebook, there's final expense, all those. Here, you're independent. There's no, you can go, yeah, we have the carriers, but you're not stuck here. If you want to go contract with XYZ carrier that's off the beaten path, well, more power to you. You can do that. You're independent. And then, of course, no initiation fees, right? We don't do any of that. Those are the top things we want to look at, really, when you're looking at an IMO. The biggest thing to go back to the beginning is we are a market disruptor. Market disruptors, these are a couple of them. You've seen them. Rest in peace, Blockbuster. Let's all give a moment of silence for Blockbuster, right? Back in the day, if you guys remember, guys, I went there every week. $4.33 was how much it cost to go rent a movie. Like, we loved it. I loved it. And, here's a story, true story. Reed Hastings, he actually, because he was, Blockbuster was the thing. He actually offered Blockbuster the chance to buy his company. He has a great idea. Guess what they said? Nah, we're good. There's a store at every corner. We're good. And now, rest in peace. FFL did the same thing. The reason that insurance has not been sexy for a long time is because it was an old man's game. No one made any money until you were like so old as dirt, because all these companies stole all your money. The comp that we give you, guess how that's possible? We're not greedy. It's your hard work, and Sean Mike is the one of the first, if not the first, that started that, where he saw that all these companies were taking the money that you worked hard for. Why not give it to the agents? And for 3, I think it was 3 years, he said they made no money. He just knew that if he gave the highest comp to the agents, it would come back to bless him sevenfold. And guess what happened? It's blessing him sevenfold. And I kept asking myself, why doesn't other companies, why don't they just give him more comp? You know what? Because, well, first, their culture, that's not their business model. Second, it would take a complete shift for them to do that. And just to give you a little confidence, because FFL is so far ahead, in order for any competitor to even try to do what we do, they would have to work years just to get where we are. But we've honestly built that dirt floor, and now we're where we are. So we are a market disruptor. We're different because we give the money away, whereas other companies are trying to steal it, right? They don't want to go work like a CEO. Sean Mike worked 7 days a week, ate to faint, all like for years, so he can keep the company afloat, do that what he did. So again, when people give thanks to Sean Mike, it's for a reason. He literally killed this. This is a guy, he was like writing some serious amount of premium. Like if there was like a rock star in premium, like he's a guy. He doesn't just talk the talk. He can actually walk the walk, which is pretty cool. Again, Why Ffl, we talked about the highest paid renewals. We give you bonuses. You want to get into the 30K club. We'll talk about that a little later. 30K club is you get extra money for doing what you're supposed to do. You get agency bonuses as well. And then the biggest thing, we'll talk about that at the very, very last FFLU, which is becoming an integrity partner. Guys, that is huge. Only 6% of businesses ever get the opportunity to get sold. Like the reason you start a business is that so that you can one day, they call it have a golden parachute, and buy or sell your company and you're good. So only of all the companies ever started in the entire country, only 6% ever get the chance to get sold. Of the 6%, only 1% actually get sold. Like maybe the 6 that were there, maybe their books weren't right, or maybe they built a business that was about them. They were their own worst nightmare. They were so good that if the business bought them, the business would collapse because they were it, right? Here in FFL, you don't have to worry about all that. All you need to do is build a business. And integrity, they will start helping your books. And I'm just going to tell you out there, generally speaking, when you start doing about $50,000 net in your business, so when you start doing about, maybe 500,000 a month, maybe 700,000 a month, they'll start talking to you, courting you a little bit, hey girl, how you doing, right? And then little by little, when you get to about $1 million a month, I ain't saying you're getting a deal, but you're getting a deal. Just saying. It's just what it is. And ask yourself, we looked at that little chart where we talk about 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. Listen, can you just let yourself be bad enough, long enough to get good? Are you okay being a high paid salesperson at first, starting to build a business, helping a couple of persons here, a couple of persons there? Again, look at Nina. Nina was where I am right now a year ago. We're about 200,000-ish. And with 1 year, bam. We have people, Zach Tardowski, I think he's like 3 years, he got a deal. He's the youngest partner. We had Grady Paulson, 2 years, he got a deal. The guy at FFL Velocity, 1 year, he got a deal. And what does the deal look like? Well, they gave you a one-time check. It's like a 7-10 times multiplier of your business. So it's in the millions probably. No one knows because it's all hush-hush. But they give you a one-time check. You become an integrity partner, meaning that you're a partner with the integrity, which, by the way, if you don't know who they are, they're one of the largest companies that their business model is almost like a Berkshire Hathaway. If you don't know who they are, they're Warren Buffett's company. Warren Buffett's company, they buy companies. Like Warren Buffett owns American Express, all these other companies, right? And their business model is they buy good insurance businesses. You are all independent agents. So most companies, when they came to FFL, if we were captive, Sean Mike would have just walked away with his golden parachute. But because we were all independent, they bought the net of FFL, but they got to buy our net individually. So our net has to be what they buy. So integrity, just to give you an idea of how big they are, they're private right now. If I'm thinking correctly, 8 out of 10 Medicare supplement plans sold in the US comes from this company. Company they own, come from one of the companies they own. Now they're getting the life side. It's when they go public, it's game over. So when they buy your company, not only do you get that, you get, I think, $250,000 a year for life. You get the upside on the bonuses. All your employees, they become integrity employees. So they get health insurance, they get stock. I mean, it's like bananas. It's awesome. It's your dream. So here you have that opportunity. There's no need to go out, try to bid your business. It's right here. You just got to do what you do. Okay. We have all four sides from advanced market sales. You don't have to be a master at all of them. You could be a master at one. I think of like basketball. Dominique Rogers. He's one of the last 5 integrity partners. Guess how much his average monthly premium was when he was in the field? I was shocked. He said $30. I was like, say what? 30? Like he said, yeah, man. He just loved final expense. Now that's not me though. Okay, that's not my cup of tea. But think of it like basketball. If you can drive to the hole, will they pay you millions as a basketball player? Yeah. If you can shoot, that's all you can do, just shoot. You can't drive at all, but you can shoot. Will they pay you millions? Mm-hmm. If you can block, all you do is block. You suck at driving, you suck at shooting, but you block. Will they pay you millions? Mm-hmm. If you can do 2 of those, will you be a star? Oh yeah. If you can do 3 of those, will you be a superstar? Uh-huh. Right? You look at Kobe Bryant. So you don't have to be a mega star, master all of them per se, but you want to. Okay. So if you just are if your jam is final expense, knock out final expense. If your jam is mortgage protection, you should know how to sell final expense though. I'm not saying you shouldn't, because some of those leads may dry up. Okay. So as far as the lead strategy, some of you know we have a page on YouTube. You start with 1 lead strategy, which I typically suggest. Start with the CRM leads. The CRM leads, once you learn how to sell those, it will build mental fortitude and allow you to be able to then diversify. CRM leads, it's about just being able to grind. It's hard. We are purposely trying to, I'm purposely trying to help someone see if they got what it takes. It isn't about success. It's about, is the person willing to be bad enough, long enough to get, are they willing to say, I give up, I suck, I know, I'm just going to keep doing it until I get better, because there are too many people succeeding for me to be different. If they're one of those, like they complain, oh, these leads suck, or oh man, have these been called before? They give me all these million excuses. Let me just save you the trouble. Just quit now. I'm doing it for you, not me, because it isn't that you don't have what it takes, but you don't want it bad enough for you to succeed. So that's why the CRM leads come in, and they're decent leads. I've sold $1 million policy from CRM leads. I've gone to a millionaire's home with 4 luxury cars in the driveway, and then the next appointment was in a ghetto. Okay, CRM leads are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? So that's why you just book the appointment and go from there. Mortgage leads they're a little bit different. They're different sales. So you go from CRM, maybe aged, practice your craft on the old stuff first, and then you can start spending your money on the other stuff. Maybe you spend less time on the phones because they're more expensive. By the way, $11 per lead is called cheap. Just being real with you. Some of you come in this thinking $11, no, that's cheap. As you get more and more seasoned, mortgage leads, fresh, meaning mailers, first time, they're about $100 a piece. Let's just say $100 a piece. So when you can get a lead, and by the way, I've called a $100 lead and they told me, oh, I'm not interested. Like, I was the first one they called up. Like, what changed from you filling the form out to, and so when you get people saying that same thing, whether it be a $3 lead, $4 lead, $10 lead, wouldn't that be a little bit better? Like, it's the same response, but because it's a higher dollar amount, we get freaked out. All I'm saying is, if it was me, I was brand new, some of us say, we want the fresh leads. I'm telling you, listen, they say the same thing. Just get the cheaper ones, okay? Get the age leads, which are, mortgage. I mean, Rose, she killed it. Age mortgage leads. These are leads that are 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, year old. She sold on them. I did too. Anyway, so get the same response from a lead that's cheaper than a lead that's expensive. You just got what you're looking for is your skill set to improve. Okay. Last couple of things. I will say this: FFL's math is crazy. We got about 10 minutes. FFL's math is we don't have time for this, but if don't get complicated on the math. Just know this: when you sell a policy, you get paid. Don't get analysis paralysis, because it'll mess you up. Here's how the comp works. I know this is a little bit small, but you do the volume and you simply go up. That's just how the comp works. A lot of you start off as if you'd already done 15 grand a month for 2 months. You got to do it for 2 months in a row. You do whatever volume. On the left-hand side is your personal volume. The max you can go in comp on your own production is 130%. So meaning, so if you look at the numbers, let's say 115, that means you've done $30,000 issue paid business, meaning you've protected over 30 families a month in business. 2 months in a row, you then get 115%, so forth and so on. Now, once you get to 130, that's the best you can do by yourself. All the rest of the positions is based on agency volume, because that's just, it is what it is. Okay, so your agency needs to do 300 to get 135, 350 to get 140. And then when you go to 145, you are what they call direct to the company. You're not on anyone's team anymore. You literally are on Sean Mike's team, literally, which is a beautiful thing. It's pretty cool because that's the highest position it is. I mean, if you had someone that got to 145, don't get concerned. FFL makes it up and they give you bonuses, volume bonuses to compensate for it. So it just works out perfectly. So these are the producer bonuses I told you about. Again, this is Why Ffl. I mean, we just throw money at you. Plus you help families and you have real business that's scalable. 30 grand a month. So Rose, you were just 10 grand off. You'd have got an extra $500 a month, just extra. This is non-charge backable. And the cool thing is this is from integrity. FFL is earning money from integrity. Guess where they're doing with their money? They're putting it back in the agents. They're giving us more money. This didn't exist about 6 months ago. They just brought it out. They're just giving us more money. 40 grand a month, 750, so forth and so on. I mean, at first I was like, oh, $500. I'm like, I was doing like 50 grand. I was like, 1,000. But now I'm getting it. I did 30. I helped over 30 this last month. If $500 is missing, I'm like, where my $500 at? Right? It's not little, right? It's serious. It's extra money, but it's pretty cool. Last couple of things. Again, going back to how we got here. 2013 established because Sean Mike saw the injustices being done to the people that were hardworking people like you and me. And we've been breaking records left and right. 618 last year in issue paid businesses. Business, meaning most companies, when they list their numbers, they're listing submit numbers, which could be approved, could not be. This is actually paid business. We doubled last year, so it was about 300-400, and we doubled it. And the goal is this year to double, to go to 1 billion, right? That's the beautiful thing, that you're gonna be part of that. So when we talked about being owned by integrity, and this is just the growth. Just look at the trajectory. We just keep going up and up and up. So that's about it, guys. That's it. I think we're all in the right place. I know we're all in the right place. The question that I ask is, are we going to allow ourselves to be bad enough, long enough to get good? So the 12 core has to be your mantra. You got to live by the 12th core. Now let's go back to the 12th core if we could. And this is where we'll end here. Let's end here. If you're committed to the 100, give yourself a 10. If you are investing leads weekly, give yourself a 10. If you're, I failed to mention, full-timers are investing about $1,500 a week in leads. Part-timers about $500 a week in leads, a week. So I do about 6,000 to 8,000 a month in leads, and to write about 30, can't tell you, to help about 30 to 40 families a month. Okay. That's just the ratio. It's about a 1-to-4 ratio, give or take. Okay. If you're investing the appropriate amount of money, give yourself a 10. If you're not, give yourself a 5. If you're doing half of that, if you're not at all, give yourself a 0. And more importantly, if you're committed, if you just got started, you're committed to doing that, give yourself a 10. Number 3, if you're committed to 2 Dow days and you're full-time, give yourself a 10. If you're committed to half or 1 Dow day and you're full-time, give yourself a 5. If you're full-time and you're not, give yourself a 0. If you're running 15 appointments a week part-time, give yourself a 10. If it's half of that, give yourself a 5. If you're 30 appointments a week, at least booked, give yourself a 10. If it's half of that, give yourself a 5, and so forth, right? Are you sharpening your sword daily? If you're doing that, give yourself a 5. I mean, I'm talking waking up early, doing something toward that ritual, give yourself a 10. If not, 0. If you're doing 2 invites a day to FFL, give yourself a 10. If not, 0, right? And by the way, between 1 to 5, add the score you get. Add 1, 2, add whatever number you got, add them all and divide by 5. And that will tell you your percentage of success in becoming a salesperson here to actually being able to write good business. That's just the truth. The rest, we're going to add them all up. So again, if you're committed to attending your builders training every week, give yourself a 10. If not, same thing, 0. If you're committed to going to a quarterly sales conference, you're going to look for one near you. Give yourself a 10. If not, I don't need those. Those are this raw. It's, by the way, it's not rah. It's actual training. By the way, give yourself a 10. 9 if you're committed to going to the national conference. Give yourself a 10. If I'll see. Depends on whether the clouds are coming on that day. Give yourself a 0 on that one. 10 if you're doing your personal development, reading your 10 pages. Give yourself a 10. If not, give yourself a 0. 11 if you have a workout partner, give yourself a 10. If not, give yourself a 0. And 12 if you're committed to be here a year from now, no matter what, give yourself a 10. So add all those numbers up and divide by 12. And that will give you your crystal ball of whether you're going to make it. So to leave this with a bang, let's just have some accountability here. I don't know, we got 9 people on here, or 8 actually, my iPad's on. Let's start off from the top. Let's go ahead. Hey, whoever wants to be the bravest, share with us what percentage you got. And hey, this is a room, this is an environment that's conducive for growth. We love you. No one's here to pour water on you. We're here to help you. What is your number? And let's go. Let's start off with
I'm at 90.
All right, Rose, ladies first. Let's do ladies first, Raul.
All right, let's go.
I'm at 100. I was at 90 last time. I missed last week, but dude, I think I've dived so far in this. There's no turning back. I'm at 100.
She's at 100. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Raul.
What about 90?
90. It's pretty good percentage rate. It's a good batting average. Who else we got?
I'm at about 70 for the week.
Who's that?
Wendell.
Wendell, awesome, 70. I'm writing this down. And here's the deal. We've had people say, and again, I appreciate your willingness to be accountable to yourself, not just yourself in the group. We've had people that were here and they said they were at 35. And here's what we told those people. Guess what number you're not going to be at next week? 35. And the next week they were at 45, or I think 50. Did their business increase? Yes, it did. And that's all we're looking for, is to focus on the activity, and the rest will fall in its place. All right, keep going, guys. Well, who else we got? Just start throwing the numbers out, your name and what number you are. All right, we got to unmute everybody or what?
This is Maureen. I'm at 70.
Awesome. All right, Maureen, what number will you not be at next week?
Not 70 or below.
Not 70. There we go. All right. Josue, what we got, brother?
Today I'm going to be at 0, but next week I'm going to be 100%.
Awesome. All right. It's you versus you, guys. Who else we got? Everyone, we got everyone accounted for?
I'm at 80.
Who's 80? Who's 80?
Amanda.
Awesome, Amanda. All right. And we get everyone. Got Heather. Heather, we get you?
She's on the phone. Oh, there she is.
Okay, no worries.
All right. I was on the phone with your wife. I got a 75.
75. It's good. Good place to start. It's awesome. All right, guys. Everyone's awesome. Just next week, bring those numbers and just focus on the activity. Look at the 12 core, put it on your wall, check it off, do something. But this is literally the path to make it happen or make it not happen. And if you know it's not happening, you can at least see and identify where you're failing so that you can correct it. Before we close, any last minute questions that are on someone's mind that they've just been dying to ask before we close? All right, if you guys know who to talk to, or hey, we have a great group. I love how everyone's just chiming in, helping everybody. It's like a Montessori school on our FFL Haven base, guys. I just love it. Everyone just loves on everybody, which is just so awesome. There's so much. We don't have to have scarcity mentality. Everyone can win here, so no need for scarcity. This is a day of a lot of training, because during the dead time between 12 and like 3 is when it's quote unquote most dead. So we do a lot of training. If you got the time, coming up is our team huddle. This is not for my person, but this is Trey. He puts on a team huddle of, he interviews some people who are just killing it. And he's interviewing Seth Lucas, Cindy Craig. She helped over 700 families last year, Zoom only. I mean, killed it. And one more person, I forget who, but it's going to be an FFL webinar. And if I remember correctly, it's coming on at, I think, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So 1 more hour from now. If you got the time, jump on. I'm going to jump on because, hey, the most important training is the one that you missed that you could have applied for the week. So if you do have something planned, hey, so be it. I got an appointment I have to go call and sell right now. So guys, you guys take care. We'll see you guys and on the Haven page. Bye for now, guys.
Have a good day.